Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news in relation to Jadon Sancho, deadline day, Borussia Dortmund press conference around, well not specifically around Jadon Sancho, but lots of updates coming in today. The press conference for Jadon Sancho was actually meant to have occurred by now. We will probably be getting live updates whilst we are live. However, what I can say on this is that whatever Dortmund come out and say, and we've got an indication of what they are probably going to say, Manchester United do not put much weight on it anyway. They don't believe it. They don't believe that this 10th of August deadline actually is relevant from Dortmund, and what they're saying publicly, they don't believe it because they are in talks with Jadon Sancho, as we are aware, and they have their belief that that there is no way that Dortmund will say that's it, you've had your chance, you're not going to get him. What is very interesting, before we get into that though, what is very, very interesting is that I've noticed a lot of people saying it today. A certain journalist said it today, that Jadon Sancho should be putting a transfer request in to force this deal. If United want to pay, say, 70 million as a first instalment and Dortmund want 90 million pounds as a first instalment, it's very, very close. Could meet in the middle. Jadon Sancho could force that to happen. Jadon Sancho should put a transfer request in. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying this. And I think to a certain extent, this is something that I would have, a year ago, I think I said it about Harry Maguire. I may even said it about Bruno in January. But ultimately, I think that it's different. It's different about that. And I think that what you've got to do is, and we've got the Borussia Dortmund update coming in now. Let me just give it to you as we are live. Fabrizio, director, we plan with Sancho. He will play with us next season. I think that answers all of the questions. So that is the big breaking news as we are live here. Fabrizio Romano with the Michael Zorg, Borussia Dortmund director, saying, we plan with Jadon Sancho. He will play with us next season. I think that answers all of your questions. Well, look. We plan with Jadon Sancho. He will play with us next season. I think that answers all of your questions. Now, I think Fabrizio Romano needs to follow that up. But it's exactly what I predicted this morning. I said it this morning. He will come out with the same thing. We plan with Jadon Sancho. He'll play with us next season. I think that answers all your questions. I don't believe that. I don't think Manchester United believe that. I don't believe Manchester United can walk away from this deal. So I'm not scared by that. But we will have a lot of people saying that, oh, you know, that means it's not going to happen. I mean, Christian Falk has now just said big surprise in the Sancho poker. Michael Zorg, head of sport, confirmed the club secretly renewed the player's contract until 2023 a year ago. That is quite a big development. I've got to put my hands up and say that I wasn't aware of that. Christian Falk is saying that Michael Zorg has confirmed the club secretly renewed the player's contract until 2023 a year ago. Well, his contract was till 2022, which means that it doesn't mean a lot in relation to this. I mean, his contract till 2022 meant that next summer he would be cheaper than this summer. But that only means next summer he'll be as expensive as this summer. So it doesn't... I mean, I think that actually helps Manchester United, because there are some United fans saying, don't be held to ransom, slap your chest, and let's go and get him for cheap next summer. Well, that's obviously not going to be the case now. Lots of people saying, let's look at alternatives. Mark, you look like a right fool now. All that talking about Sancho is done, blah, blah. Fab just concerned it's off, so what's now? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I'm going to be pissed off if we don't sign him, says Dylan Bradley. And also, Dortmund don't mess about. They won't budge on their price. Woodward messes up again by not playing what the club wants. Danny Struland and Jenny Logan, latest members of the United Stand Members Club. This is all breaking quickly while we are live. Riley Boyd, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. And look, all I would say is, and I will prove this to you now. What did I tweet this morning at 7 hours ago? This is my tweet on @MarkGoldbridge. Dortmund chief executive talking to the media today, expect him to say they expect Sancho to be a Dortmund player next season again. Games continue, so do talks between the clubs, all part of the process. So I'm totally relaxed and I'm still totally confident. I don't think today has changed anything. And what I've always said is that Manchester United will be absolute fools to walk away from this deal and allow it to happen. And if Manchester United, I said it on Saturday as well, if Manchester United walk away from this deal, it's on Manchester United. I've got no issue with Borussia Dortmund. I have got no issue with Borussia Dortmund. What they're asking for is fair. Other clubs are paying money to buy players to close the gap on Liverpool and Man City, i.e. Chelsea. You're telling me we can't afford 100 million euros to buy a player that's well worth it? I would never, ever, ever accept Manchester United saying, well, in a COVID world, we couldn't afford to do it and we felt he was overpriced. Well, I'm sorry. This is why you need a director of football, because if the Glazers, Ed Woodward and any other person in that club think he's overpriced, ask Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if he thinks he's overpriced. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will say, I want that player. If we are dealing with bank managers again, backing out of a deal that we've held talks with and we can't find that final payment, then we are... the only people to look at is Manchester United Football Club. And I don't believe that they will do that because they know the blame is totally on them. Dortmund have got every right to ask for the price that they want. Jadon Sancho wants to come to Manchester United. If they back out of this deal and blow it at the last minute because they don't want to pay the money, then we all know as Manchester United fans that have paid thousands of pounds over our lifetimes into that club that yet again, it's about dividends, it's about shareholders, it's about saving money, and it's about being a business, not a football club. Now, do you think they want to run that risk after what happened in January, where the fans were fed up and some really bad, inexcusable things happened? And then since January, we've done some fantastic things. Do you really think the club are going to do that for a statement signing like Jadon Sancho? Not for me. I don't believe that. I mean, Christian Falk has said that Michael Zord, head of sport, notifies the decision Sancho will definitely play for Dortmund next season. That is a big statement to come out, I've got to say. But I still don't think that decision is final. And I still don't think that is what's going to happen. I totally expected that to come out, and I don't think that will be the case. But that is the line at the moment. And just going back to what I was saying before about people saying that Jadon Sancho should put a transfer request in, maybe some people will be saying that now that should happen. He should force a move out of the club. Dortmund are well versed in people putting transfer requests in. They're well versed in people like Ousmane Dembele and Aubameyang, and they're well versed in getting good prices. If you deal with Dortmund, you pay the price. Whether it's moral or not, Bayern Munich said last week, we buy players to create great Bayern Munich players. Dortmund buy players to sell them for a big fee. That's what Dortmund do. Well, look, we know that. And, yet again, look, make your own minds up. Make your own minds up about what's going to happen. But what you cannot dispute is that there is a high level of confidence around this deal being done. And Fabrizio Romano himself was on the show with a high level of confidence 3 or 4 days ago. You can't move away from the fact that this deal is close to touching distance. You can't move away from the fact that Manchester United have been in talks with Dortmund for a couple of weeks now, and maybe even longer. And if this deal was to fall through, then it will fall heavily on Manchester United's toes because they are the ones who have got to pay the money. And if they're not paying the money, what are they doing? They can't use the excuse of COVID because we are a rich club with loads of money coming in over the next 10 years. You can forecast this money. And if you want to close a gap, you've got to do it. What are you going to do? Go and buy Rabbi Matundo or bloody Douglas Costa or some other shit right winger like that? Go and get the best. That's what Manchester United need to do. Fabrizio also says Jadon Sancho has not signed the new contract with Dortmund. We've already extended his contract 1 year ago until June 2023. And we plan with Jadon Sancho. He will play with us next season. I think that answers all of the questions. I'm very interested to see what your opinions are. But there is an update from... God, where's that gone? Oh, I thought Fabrizio had also tweeted something else. This is all actually happening live while we're here live at the moment, so I'm just trying to digest what is going on here. Lots of comments coming in, which I'll get into in a moment. I think what I would say is, and I've got some super chats to read here, is Mark, you look. I've read that one already. I disagree. I don't look like a right prat, because I'm going to stay by what I've always said. I think that Manchester United will do this deal. I'm very confident that this deal will be done. And I think if they don't walk away from this deal, whether I look a prat, whether anyone else looks like a prat, whether Fabrizio looks like a prat, whether anybody else looks like a prat, the biggest prat of all, with the big crown on their head, will be Manchester United, because this has been played out in front of the world. Everyone knows we've been in talks. And if you get your arse handed on a plate by Borussia Dortmund, I think everything good we've done over the last few months disappears into the ether. It doesn't matter anymore. So I think what's happened today is that Dortmund, the structure, as I said last week, the structure of the deal was 3 years. 120 million euros over 3 years, which I think is a fair deal. In a post-COVID world, I think it's a fair deal. Year 1, pay a certain amount. Year 2, year 3. The issue has always been that Dortmund want a big first payment. And why wouldn't they? It's their player. They want something like 90 million euro. And Manchester United say they want to pay 70 million euro. Well, what Dortmund have done today, and what Michael Zorg has done today, is basically said, no more messing around. You knew the deadline. You know what we want. No more negotiating. No more we're being unreasonable. No more, we'll cave in the end. No more COVID-19 means you should be cheaper. You pay what we want, or you don't get that player. And now, Manchester United have got to try and spin this. Watch what happens over the next few days. If United are still in for him, and I think that they are, it will just continue with talks. If they're not in for him, you will see alternatives. And you will see they wanted ridiculous amounts of money. But all I will say about that is, 1, I don't expect it to happen. I think we need to be calm. 2, they cannot walk away from this deal. And if they do it, then, what are you going to do? So, give us Jack Grealish or give Jesse Lingard a new contract? Come on. We're meant to be trying to close a gap, which is 30 points to Liverpool. How do you close a gap to 30 points to Liverpool? You go and buy one of the world's best young players. And that's what Jadon Sancho is. And if we don't get him now, we won't get him next summer, because Real Madrid and Barcelona will come to the party. And he'll have another great season at Dortmund, and he'll get better and better and better. There is no overpaying for a player like Jadon Sancho. There is no way they can leak it out to every press journalist they know that, let's all start pumping our chests. United shouldn't be held to ransom. But this isn't Ivan Perisic. This isn't Koulibaly. This isn't Jack Grealish. This is Jadon Sancho, considered easily, comfortably to be one of the best top 5 young players in the world. There's no such thing as 120 million euros being overpaying for a player like that, especially in instalments. So they can't spin this. The only way they could spin this is failure, and I don't think Manchester United want to do that. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Don't know Drew says, Zorc 2017, Dembele has a long-term contract and we're making definite plans with him. There are no negotiations with Barcelona. Usman is going to be playing for Dortmund in the coming season, and he never did. Per-Eric Klassen, Mark, don't you think this is all just to put pressure on United? Yes, I do. Stay the course. As I said at the start of the video, Manchester United do not believe the deadline. They don't believe what's going to be said by Dortmund. It's all a game of poker. And I said that, check my tweet from this morning. I've basically predicted what Michael Zorg would say. So I'm not going to be influenced by that. If you want to be influenced by it, that's fine. I'm not influenced by that at all. I don't think there is anything in what he's just said. Zorc said the same about Dembele in 2017. We all know what happened next, says Renato. And if he really wanted to be a Red, he would force the move. He's choosing to stay there. Time to move on at this point, says Zachary Purvis. I'm glad that Zachary said that. I'm sweating because it's very hot today, Cave. But I'm glad somebody said that. I don't think that forcing a transfer is a good idea. It doesn't do you very good in relation to your personal marketability. And it doesn't actually get you a transfer, because Dortmund have had this twice before with players, Usman Dembele and Mbappé. It doesn't make Dortmund let you sell you for cheap. It makes your life very, very difficult. And at the end of the day, I think the better way is like Harry Maguire did it, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka did it. I want to move. The clubs say you can move, but the opposition have got to pay the price for you. I don't think Jadon Sancho going AWOL or putting a transfer request works. But let's not forget, there's so many comments that you can take out of context and in context. I mean, Michael Zorg, I believe it was, or somebody at Dortmund only 2 or 3 weeks ago was saying that effectively Jadon Sancho's been a bit of a handful. He's quite difficult to deal with in relation to his behaviour. So I don't think Dortmund are opposed to selling him. I think they will sell him. I just think that they want the price that they want. And the same thing is going to happen with Jude Bellingham in 2 years' time. Jude Bellingham will be wanted by a big English club in 2 years' time, and Dortmund won't give a shit that he's English. They'll just basically say, we bought him for 20 million, we want 120 million, that's what you've got to pay. They're very good at it. And if you study what Dortmund are, they are an acquirer of very good young talent that they give the opportunity to, and then they sell high, and then they do it again and again and again and again. And if you walk into a deal with Borussia Dortmund and think it's Sporting Lisbon or Leicester City or Crystal Palace, where you can use your Billy Big Bollocks Manchester United badge and say, we're going to get him at a cheap price. I've been saying it for weeks. I even said it this morning. I don't understand what Manchester United's angle is, having talks after talks after talks. I mean, all they can be doing is saying, please let us have him for cheap, because there's been this global COVID-19. The financial markets have dropped a little bit. Please let us have him for cheap. And Dortmund are going, yeah, but you know what? Are we going to go back into a lockdown like that again? Probably not. We've lost loads of money from not having fans in the ground as well. And you want us to sell out one of our best players for cheap. I tell you what, we'll do it in instalments. We'll do it in instalments for you so you can pay it over 3 years, but you're paying 120 million euros. That's what you're getting. Oh, please bring it down. Look at the BBC website. There might be another spike. They've had to do another lockdown in Preston. We don't care. Pay the price. Oh, please let us have him for cheaper. Have you not, there could be another lockdown in autumn. Do you want the player? If not, don't buy him. If you do, buy him. Look, Manchester United never should have got into talks in the first place if they didn't want to pay a fair price for Jadon Sancho. Genuinely asking, why would they say something so absolute and then do the transfer? Wouldn't that make them look bad? Want your insights, says Daniel Luciano. Not really. I don't think so. At the end of the day, I think Dortmund have put themselves into a position whereby they have set a price. It's a very public price, and for Sancho, and if Manchester United pay that price, they can then say, well, look, we planned for him for next season. We got the price that we wanted. That's it. Why isn't Sancho being more vocal against Dortmund, says Stephen? I just don't think that world happens anymore. Mark saw Fabrizio tweet that Dortmund has agreed 80 million initial fee is confirmed. I think it's 4 days ago, says Sudashan. And Sancho is not going to put in a request. He will just wait. That is the type of character we need in the dressing room, says Shelley D'Souza. Look, what I can feed into you is some other stuff. Is that in relation to the deadlines... Look, the Daily Mail is not a great outlet for football, but they were saying that Manchester United are increasingly confident that they will sign him a few hours ago. Last night, I think in the Telegraph, they were saying that Manchester United are still very confident that they'll get the deal done. Talks continue, that they don't believe the deadline day, and they think that the deal can be done, and that the transfer window is open until October. So, look, we're only at the start of August. I said it this morning. The deal could be announced tonight. It could be announced 2 weeks. It could be announced in the start of October. That's how much the transfer window is open. But all I would say is you're going to have to be a little bit patient. I'll give you a hypothetical here. If this deal is done, it's done. We're not signing him anymore. You're still going to get 2 months of Jadon Sancho. Even if Dortmund can get Jadon Sancho to say he's not moving, and there will still be stories about Jadon Sancho for 2 months. So it's not going to go anywhere. Your hopes and fears are not going to go anywhere until he's holding up a shirt with a Manchester United thing on it, or until the transfer window's open, because that's just the way it is. It won't disappear. And we're only at the start of the transfer window. And there's been so much noise about... I mean, look at the BBC person last night saying Sancho then. So many people. Andrew C says, we plan on having Jadon Sancho in our team this season. The decision is final. I think that answers all your questions. We've spoken about that, Andrew. And Mark, check Sky Sports News, says Philip Burtonwood. Well, we are getting stuff as we are live here. Sky are breaking that news as well. There will be obviously there will be further updates coming through from this. I would let me try and predict what's going to happen. I would say that there's going to be some updates very, very soon from people like Fabrizio Romano. He's been very consistent about game playing. He's been very consistent about it all being part of the process. He's been very consistent about talks continuing up until yesterday. Now, he's well versed. He's been on the show. Fabrizio Romano is very, very close to what's going on with this deal. And if he says talks have broken down and that's it, then you'd have to take that as gospel. But I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting that at all, because we're only on August the 10th. There's 2 months of this transfer window to go. If Manchester United pay what needs to be done, then that's what. Then that will be done. We did this with Maguire and still paid the max, says Elvin. Exactly. Dortmund have a similar model to Brentford: buy talent with potential development, then sell for a good profit. They know what they're doing and do it well. Yeah. Look, you know what? I think that. I think with regard, we've now got another incident. I've got to go on Instagram now. I think with Manchester United, this has always been my fear, that we desperately need a director of football, because how you can walk into those deals, and there's long been rumours about Manchester United's negotiating capability being an embarrassment. Now look, they are rumours. They are nothing more than that. So Dortmund have put an Insta post out saying, see the translation. He will be playing with us next season. The decision is definite. I think this answers all questions. I tell you what, I'm still confident it will happen, because I dread to think what will happen to Manchester United if they have fucked this deal up. Quite bluntly, this isn't worth getting angry about yet, but what I would say is there has long been rumours about Manchester United's negotiation capabilities being embarrassing amongst certain agents. We as fans have seen transfers with Manchester United drag on and on and on and on. And many of you said a few weeks ago that you were fearful of Manchester United coming into a deal of negotiations with Borussia Dortmund, who are probably one of the best negotiators in world football. Let's not forget, we thought we were getting Erling Haaland in January. Dortmund took the win. We thought we were getting Jude Bellingham when we showed him round Carrington. Dortmund took the win. Is this to be the hat trick? Manchester United walking in like a boss. We're going to get Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho, as we know, wants to come to Manchester United. Personal terms agreed. Structure of the deal agreed. Final payment. First payment. Talks continue. Have Dortmund just gone, you know what? That's that door we told you about. Shut. And United go, they'll open it in a minute, and there's a padlock on it. Is that to be the story here? Have Manchester United played out one of the most embarrassing transfer defeats in their history in trying to acquire a player that would be a statement signing? I cannot believe that that level of incompetence exists in this football club anymore. We have turned a corner. We are in a Champions League spot in the league. We have got the funds to do it. We are in a Europa League quarter-final. And Jadon Sancho is the statement signing that the club needs to make. I cannot believe for 1 minute that they have blown this deal. And that is based upon conversations with people who know far, far, far more than I do. These are people who are well connected. They're well connected people. They've been on the show. So I stay confident that this deal can be done, but Manchester United are going to have to cough up what they were asked to do. I think that given the effort and time going into Sancho transfer, we should realistically hope for a Sancho signing and Pogba new contract. Do you agree? Says Daniel Luciano. And welcome to Ashwin, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're on the road to 790k. And we're only 2.5 hours away from being live for a watch along as well. So lots and lots and lots going on. I'm I'm desperately awaiting some sort of update from Fabrizio, because he will be ready to tweet about it and he will be well informed on what is going on. But I mean, I'm just reading a tweet from Aubameyang here that goes back to 2019. He said, remember that time you said you were never going to sell Osman, then you saw more than 100 million. You were first to see. Hold on. Hello, mate? What am I getting phone calls for? That's worrying, because people will know I'm live. Okay, so we've got another Fabrizio Romano update here, which is quite a significant one. You know what? I almost should be a mind reader, because I've predicted this all along, what would happen. And so Fabrizio Romano has, this is what I was waiting for. Fabrizio Romano has replied to a tweet here. So Christopher Tavi has replied to Romano saying, he's just saying that. Michael Zorg obviously has said that we plan with Jadon Sancho, who will play with us next season. I think that answers all the questions. Christopher has said that he's just saying that because plans for the coming season have been set, and as long as Sancho is a Dortmund player, he will be included in those plans. United just need to give Dortmund what they want. Come on, Mr. Woodward, get it done. To which Fabrizio Romano has said, Manchester United have got to pay 120 million euros if they want Jadon Sancho. That is clear. Dortmund's position is clear too. Manchester United have to pay or he will stay. It's up to Manchester United. And that's... We know this. We know this. Take it away from Jadon Sancho. Erling Haaland, we didn't want to pay. We didn't get him. Jude Bellingham, I don't think we wanted to pay. We didn't get him. Bruno Fernandes, we didn't want to pay 60 million. We got him a little bit cheaper, but with add-ons. Harry Maguire, we didn't want to pay 80 million. We did pay 80 million. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we didn't want to pay 50 million. We did pay 50 million. Look, this is in a year. That's 5-6 deals in a year. When you take Jadon Sancho into account, that's 6 deals in a year where we've not wanted to pay the going rates. And on some of them we have paid, and some of them we missed out where there was some competition. Both Dortmund, actually, with Haaland and Bellingham. So Fernandes, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, we didn't want to pay it and we ended up paying it. Haaland and Bellingham, we didn't want to pay it and we lost out. There is nobody else to lose out with this one. So you've got to go down the road of the Maguire and the Bruno and the Wan-Bissaka. But I tell you now, if Manchester United don't do this deal, it's Manchester United who fucked it up. And I'm sorry to swear, but it's true. Where do you aim your frustration? Where do you aim your frustration at this one? Jadon Sancho, who wants to come. Dortmund, who will sell and have got absolute evidence backed up that they will sell if it's the right price. Manchester United, are you going to pay the price for a player that is a statement signing that's got the potential to be one of the world's best players and makes us better, closes the gap on Man City and Liverpool? Or are you going to walk away because you don't want to put your money in your pocket, out your pocket, because you want to keep giving your dividends to the owners and buy us some absolute shot in the dark like a Douglas Costa or a Jack Grealish or a Rabbi Matondo? I mean, seriously. We're not that club anymore. You've got to provide Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the tools to do his job. I fully expect it still to be done. I really, really do. But let's have a look. There's so many updates coming up. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Jan Arge Fjortoft, who was on the show last week, he says Zorg strong and clear at the press briefing, but his record concerning Dembele and Aubameyang, who both left after Zorg said they would stay, will make speculations going till Sancho himself will definitely wants to stay in Dortmund another season. And I think that is the point here. That Jadon Sancho, unless Jadon Sancho comes out and says this deal is I'm staying here, then this will continue. I don't think we get any clarity as Manchester United here. I don't think we get any clarity if you're a Dortmund fan. I think it continues on and on and on. And I predicted that this would be said. And there's another tweet here that I just need to read out as well. Please subscribe if you're new. This means absolutely nothing. He has to say it because it gives Dortmund more strength in negotiating. Plus, if he says nothing, it makes Dortmund look weak. That statement changes absolutely nothing. Believe what you believe before you read it. And that basically sums up exactly where I am with this. There's another There's another quote here. Some understanding, Sancho will put in a transfer request, writing off his percentage of the transfer fee, but a deal was close, except after agreeing it. Woodward went back and tried to gazunder Dortmund, who were having no such thing. That is from Daniel Harris, who is a Guardian journalist. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but it makes a lot of sense. I just think it's going to get messy. That's what I think. I think it's just going to get messy. I don't think you can... I feel sorry for you. I feel the people I feel sorry for the most is you, because you will get Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, quite rightly trying to banter United fans. You're going to get that. You're going to get, every human being's different. You're going to get nervous fans. You're going to get angry fans. You're going to get relaxed fans. You're going to get excited fans. Nobody's going to get the definitive win they want. Like, not tonight. You're not going to get it. If you're confident that the deal's going to happen, you're going to remain confident. If you're a pessimist and you think it's not going to happen, you're going to remain like that. I feel sorry, because I don't think Michael Zorg's statements are not worth the paper they're written on. That's been proven before, as we know. But also, even if he genuinely thinks that, it doesn't stop Sancho forcing a move. It doesn't stop Manchester United paying the price they should be paying. I think yet again, and I must put my hand up and apologise for this. I think yet again, a week ago, I thought United were going to do something that I haven't seen them do before, which is actually deliver a joyful transfer full of excitement and speed. And many of you said, that won't happen. Manchester United don't do that. Ed Woodward and co don't do that. They'll suck the joy out of this transfer. They'll send you on a roller coaster ride. And by the time he does actually sign, it will just be a relief. And I think that is exactly what is happening here. Manchester United, because we don't have a credible sporting director who knows what they're doing in the world of football, we walk into transfers living off a badge that those people have never earned the right to wear. And I'm talking about our negotiators here. We go into transfers thinking we're Manchester United and we can bully people around to give us players for cheap. And what we don't realise is that we're probably one of the worst negotiators there are in world football. We're terrible at it. We've got all the gear and no idea. And, I am not a negotiator of transfers, and neither are you. But I know I've followed football long enough to know that if you're going to try and buy Dortmund's best player with a couple of years left on his contract, and we've now found out he's got 3 years left on his contract, you're going to have to pay the price that they want. There's no negotiating. They don't need to sell him. They don't want to sell him. He's the best player. He wants to come to us, and we really want him, but you're going to have to pay what they want. And if you go in there trying to negotiate, what are you trying to negotiate? What are you trying to negotiate? Why would they want to negotiate? Oh, you might not be able to fill your stadium for a few months yet. So, that's not going to make us give you him for cheap. So, yeah. I'm still confident, says Luke Mason, the deal will happen, but I can't stop thinking how much fun could be sucked out of the game tonight now. Even if we win, this is going to be in the back of my mind. I expect big updates between now, during and after the match today. I don't think that it will make any difference. What I've just been messaged here in a WhatsApp is that the deal was agreed and Ed Woodward went back in and tried to renegotiate. If that is true, and it's a big if, it's a good WhatsApp from where it's coming from. But United agree a deal, then try to renegotiate a deal. And this fits in with what we were talking about last week and what Fabrizio was saying last week as well. You can't be 100% until they're holding up a shirt, because some prat can still ruin it. Daniel Luciano, I think Fiore's tweet puts it in perspective. Still in United's hands, but it's time for them to pay up and do right by the fans, says Daniel Luciano. David Beckham should be our director of football. He just got Matuidi, says Andrew Rossi. If Aki can go to City for 43 million from a relegated club, does that make sense to our board that Sancho really is worth 120 million? Manchester United make the rules up themselves. Oh, Sancho's only worth 70 million because of COVID. Look at Aki. No, don't look at Aki. He's only worth 70 million. If you are really the voice of this community, as you are only reason all of us, then why find a way to get the board out ASAP, says Ashwin. Well, look, Ashwin, in a serious note, you can say Woodward out, you can say the Glazers out, you can get really angry with the board, but also, could you not say, don't take any notice of what Michael Zorc has said because he's done it in the past and we predicted it this morning. Manchester United might be literally about to announce it tomorrow for a record transfer. Let's just wait and see. I think it's very easy for me to prescribe this, but I think some relaxation and calm is important because there's more to come from this. There's definitely more to come from this. And but what will happen, as was said there, is people will start to get very frustrated. The PR rating of Manchester United will drop. And, you know, I'm going to use this a lot now. The PR rating of Manchester United. Manchester United will take notice of your PR rating. Over the last 6 months since Bruno's come in, all the work around the NHS, not laying off any staff, all the positive things they've done, the PR rating of Manchester United has been going up and up and up. And we know they brought Neil Ashton in, supposedly brought Neil Ashton in to help with this. And United's PR rating has been going up and up and up since the low days of January when some horrible things happened. That PR rating is going to start plummeting based on what's been said by the Dortmund chief executive. United fans will be going, I gave you a chance, we put some trust in what you were doing, and it's the same old embarrassing mistakes again, where you've messed up a deal and you've cost us a big player. So that's what some people will think, and the PR rating will start dropping. That will ping in Manchester United Football Club. Our PR rating is dropping like a bowling ball in the ocean, and we've got to do something. And look, I'm going to read you this tweet today. It's one of mine on @MarkGoldbridge. You can read it if you want to. And I put this out this morning. This is the cycle of Manchester United doing transfers. And you think about the last few transfers we've done. Big hype around a deal. Uncertain. Well, first step, big hype around a deal. Second step, uncertainty around a deal. Third step, we will walk away from a deal. Fourth step, deal is off. Fifth step, here we go. Sixth step, it's official. Now, this has happened many times before. So there you go. I think we're at the fourth step at the moment. Deal could be off. Next step, here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with it. Welcome to Luke Mason, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. I don't know why I feel like it's happening a week on Wednesday. No significance, just a vision, says Ben. Oh, any Wednesday will do. And why are we scrounging over a few million when we've wasted so much money on the likes of Sanchez? It's embarrassing. How are we going to get a centre-back? Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Sancho hasn't signed a new contract. Sancho signed a new contract last year for a year. His contract was due to be up on 2022. And Dortmund have announced that he signed a new contract last summer, which was 2023. The relevance of this is that there was a rumour that if Manchester United didn't sign Jadon Sancho today, he would sign a new contract with the club, and that is not true. The transfer was done, the contract was signed actually last summer. But I do think we need to calm down. Sky Sports are saying it's a huge blow for Manchester United. We plan on having Jadon Sancho on our team this season. The decision is final. But look, even that statement is not final. We plan on having Jadon Sancho in our team next season. That's the statement. We plan on having Jadon Sancho in our team next season. We plan. The decision is final. So your decision is final that you plan on having Jadon Sancho in your team. So even then, you can read the words. Everyone knew beforehand what Michael Zorc was doing, exactly. And Adam, who was on the show last night, says it just feels like it's a contest of my bollocks are bigger than yours. It's about, and we've been talking about this for a while. That Manchester United and Dortmund are fighting to control this transfer. And it does come down to what we want to pay, what each club wants to pay. That's what it comes down to. So we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see how it develops further. But Fabrizio's been quiet, and he's been quiet for a while. Christian Falk has been quite firm in what he said. I don't think he's come back with anything more. Let's have a look. But Hawks, nothing in there. Let's have a look what people are saying in the comments. we are doing a watch along tonight, of course. Yeah, I'll set the stream up as soon as this is over. Mark, if you had to bet your house on us signing Sancho, where are you putting your home? Says Oscar Coleman. Yeah, but you know what? If you'd asked me this morning, I said last night I'm 90% sure we're going to sign him. So did Ricky, so did Saeed, so did Adam. The problem is, when you're getting this news coming out that United had a deal agreed last week and then Ed Woodward tried to renegotiate it, there's your concern, isn't it? The story last week has changed this week by the sounds of it because we had a deal and then we've tried to renegotiate again. And this is, unfortunately, there is rumours that exist in the footballing world, especially amongst agents, that Manchester United are not very good at transfers. And in fact, they're quite embarrassing. So that is always a concern because the people who are negotiating for us, they're not the best in the game. We haven't got a director of football. People who do this are bank managers. They're not football people. So my concern, if I'm absolutely honest with you now, is if there's any truth that what we had last week we've tried to negotiate, Dortmund are going to go up yours and they may get pissed off. And if we've done that, then look, many people have said that certain people in that club should have been sacked a long time ago. If they've messed this deal up, Woodward needs to deliver after one, secured a Champions League spot, and say after Ollie secured a Champions slot and saved the club tens of millions. This could get sweaty, says Gustav. And regardless of what happens with this deal, the only thing we should know is that Woodward has no business trying to get deals done for this club, says Andrew Rossi. And let's go United, says Amvivab. Well, just going back to what Andrew Rossi said there as well. Remember last week how it came out that that Manchester United weren't actually negotiating this deal because they'd used a third party. Well, what if that story is true? That United had negotiated a deal through a third party last week, and then Ed Woodward's gone to renegotiate again because he didn't like that deal and messed it up. So that could be exactly what's going on. Prajwell says Dortmund did this with Usman Dembele, but to be pragmatic, Prajwell, what if Michael Zorg is determined to be right about that this time? You don't know. Nothing new from the board, says Omar. It's worse for the newer Man United fans, but those that have been around a while, we know that low-key this would happen. Just stay positive. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think that's a very mature comment. Sancho will be a United player in the week, says Karan. And the other day, rival fans were saying Sancho is overrated. Now they're celebrating. Just goes to show how much of a vital player he would be to us, says Luke Mason. Exactly. Stay the course. Stay the course. I've said this for a long time. There are people that I've spoken to on video and off video who are very close in relation to what's happening. I remain totally confident. I take it on the chin. Like we'll all have to take it on the chin. If it doesn't happen, it will be a big, big blow. I don't think it'll be a knockout blow. Man United always gets up. But I don't expect it. I expect Manchester United to get this deal done. I have confidence that Manchester United have turned a corner in the last 6 months. And therefore, I cannot believe that they will allow themselves to mess this deal up. I just do not believe it. And knowing what I know around what's been agreed and what's not been agreed, I just do not believe this deal will not happen. And that is honestly where I'm at with it. So, look, and how nice will it be when it does get done to go up yours to everyone who's having a laugh about it now. But look, you believe what you want to believe. You'll feel what you want to feel. And I know a lot of people will be concerned. We always do this. Woodward having his laugh, baiting the haters. Then boom, deal is done, says Pete Squire. Exactly. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, by the way. I was just going to check that as well. Let's have a quick look. What I would say is, though, we're on the road to 790. Please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Obviously, we've gone live with this. If he's handing a transfer request, Daniel Harris said it now. Says Ved. Look, if Jadon Sancho wants this move, something's going to happen. But what I would say is, and let's see what happens with this statement then. What I would say is, if he's not a Manchester United player by the weekend, or we don't definitely know he's going to be a Manchester United player by the weekend, I would worry. I think the next few days is really important. I think the next few hours is really important. I think Fabrizio Romano's next tweet is very important. What is happening with the deal? Is it off? Is it on? It's going to be interesting. Michael Zorg can't drop that. The interesting thing is that people like Fabrizio and others have been putting information out around around the transfer as of because it's been hot off the press. Talks continue. This is agreed. This is close. It's touching. It's crossing the I's. It's dotting the T's. Whatever you want to say. That's been going on for a week, and it's been about when is it going to happen. Today, the Dortmund sporting director comes out and says we're planning on him being at Dortmund next season. The decision is final, right? That's a very, very big statement to put out publicly. What's the follow-up? What's the truth? Are talks still going to continue? Fabrizio's been saying talks have been continuing for the last 2 weeks. What's the next tweet? Are talks still continuing? Because if talks are still continuing, Zorg's statement means nothing. If we get the tweet, talks have broken down because Woodward and co have messed it up, then you worry. And until we get that, I remain totally confident because I know how close the deal was. What worries me a little bit this afternoon is what's being said that we've tried to go and renegotiate with Ed Woodward, because that is not going to fill people with confidence. But this could be the biggest smokescreen ever. Mark, can you become our sporting director? Says Christopher. No, we need somebody far better than me, mate. We just need somebody who knows how to do the job. To all those Pratt shout-out commenters, Woodward is the real Pratt, says Pranvinin. And I don't think I've seen anyone say Sancho is overrated, says Edwards. And Fabrizio is like to tweet saying that Zorg's statement was just a bargaining tactic, says Michael Gwynn. And if Woodward fails, Ollie, their relationship will probably crumble, and I don't see him being our manager for long, says Ovidu. And Dortmund said the same about Dembele in 2017, says Ryan Robb. And Loz says, everybody transfer, build hype, says it's off. Glazers mysteriously expand their shareholdings, transfer announced, and they will offload by Monday, says Loz. Well, let's have a look if Fabrizio has actually liked a tweet on this. Of course, there is a very, very true thing to say. Jan Argafjortov says, the dialogue between Dortmund and Sancho has so far seemed good. Now we go into a new stage. If player wants to move, he has to force it. Note that there are already reports from England that player will do that again, part of the poker game. There you go. So it's starting to develop already. And look, whether that ultimately helps Manchester United, I don't know. I was talking about this a few minutes ago. I don't know that a transfer request helps him. And so, yeah, I don't know. Fabrizio Romano has not liked any tweets about anything other than Michael Zorg's comments are understood to be a bargaining move. Want to pay an initial 90 million over 3 right, let me read this out. So United Report put a tweet out saying Michael Zorg's comments are understood to be a bargaining move. Manchester United want to pay an initial 90 million over 3 annual statements and a further 18 million in performance related add-ons, but Dortmund's valuation is 20 million euros higher, and they also want a larger lump sum payment, and that's from The Guardian, and Fabrizio Romano has liked it. This is the situation. This is what we've been talking about for a week. It's the 70-20-20. It's the first instalment, the second payment, and the third payment. United are going to have to pay about 80 million quid as a first payment, and then their second and third payments will be like 20 or 10. United want to pay low, and Dortmund want them to pay high. This is what it's all about. It's a bargaining tool, and I think that's exactly... Well, Fabrizio Romano has liked that tweet in the last 20 minutes. So there's your update. That's your Fabrizio Romano update as of now. That the talks continue, that the negotiation continues, and it's about who is going to win through those negotiations at the end of the day. That's basically the situation. Werner's comment says, cry more. Mate, you're watching a Manchester United fan channel. Where's your Chelsea fan channel? Do you even have one anymore? Or do you just buy players in a soulless way with no reaction and no fan interaction? Build your own channel. Look at the United Stand. Look at the United Stand community. Look at the fact that we've got 24,000 people talking about a signing we haven't even done yet, digesting many different outlets, many different opinions, and actually passionately, I would say, enjoying it. So we're not crying. I'm confident this deal will be done. The only people who can mess it up are the Glazers, as per usual, and I don't think that will happen. And then when Jadon Sancho's holding the shirt, it will be you crying because you're desperate for us not to do this deal because you know what a big deal it is, and that's why United can't let it fail. Darren Wahid says, do you think we can get any other deals done if we end up with Sancho? Well, look, Dean, no, I've said before I think that might be it. Andrew Ross, I'd love to say we'll do more. If this deal falls through, what does it say to players like Pogba, who's been offered a new contract, says Andrew Ross. Exactly. It's a statement signing. Trust me, Mark, no signings this summer, says Joshua. They're sucking us in again. Remember, by signing Bruno, it messed up our summer budget. Now, hashtag no backing. Gerard says, sometimes it takes a statement from another club to kick our lot into gear. It's not necessarily a negative comment from Zorc. He's publicly putting the ball in our court before the eyes of the world. And Man United List says, although we've seen this with almost every deal, I'm still worried because of the sheer scale of this deal. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to do it, you could go and find comments from Leicester City about Harry Maguire. You could find comments about Crystal Palace for Wan-Bissaka, and you could find comments from Sporting Lisbon about Bruno Fernandes, very similar to what Michael Zorc has said today. In fact, I would guarantee you can find them if you want to, statements from Leicester, Palace and Sporting saying we're not selling the player, he will be here for the next few months, whatever. What do you think about Pogba, says Matteo? I think I'm very excited to watch him play tonight. And also, W says, imagine the smoke screen. We win tonight and progress, then boom, Sancho. Well, look, Sancho was never going to get announced today because we've got a game, and I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's possible that it'll happen tomorrow either. But we've still got people coming in saying the deal is off. Their director of football has said the deal is off. Yes, maybe get with it. Stop playing PlayStation, and at 4 o'clock when the news comes out, you could have been with us for the last 50 minutes going through those statements in intricate detail about why some of us will believe it and some of us do not believe it at all. So yeah, we're not going to go over the same old ground. It's all in the start of the video. James Ducker, The Telegraph, says Zorc's revelations about Sancho's contract running until 2023 explains why Dortmund's sticking so doggedly to the price tag. Even if they didn't sell this summer, he'd still have 2 years on his deal next summer, not one. Still think they'll sell if the right offer comes in. And that, to me, is it helps United, because it always concerned me a little bit that Dortmund next summer, Sancho would have 1 year left on his contract, and people would be like, well, in a year's time he's going to be worth half the price. That's not the case. So to me, if we've been in talks, we know about that, and we've still continued the talks. Sancho next summer will cost the same as he does this summer. A lot of people would have thought that would not be the case, but he will. So therefore, United cannot be saying, well, in a year's time he'll be cheaper, so let us have him for cheaper. They're going to have to pay the full price, and they've been negotiating around that full price. So to me, that's a position of strength to United. It's not a position of weakness. It makes Dortmund's case stronger, but United would obviously know about it as well. Look, we are going to be doing a watch-along in literally 2 hours' time. We'll be live with the team news for a Europa League quarter-final. And I'm sure between that time, we will have a lot more to discuss. So what I intend to do is stop the video here. We'll go live again at 7 o'clock. We'll have the team news, and then we'll continue what has been said in between that, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more tweets from people of credibility around this deal. But what I would say in conclusion is, check my tweet from this morning. I predicted this from Michael Zorc. I still think the situation is the same, that this deal is really, really close, that Manchester United need to do this deal. The only concern I would have, if there is any truth in the fact that the deal was basically done last week, and then Woodward went in and tried to renegotiate. You don't renegotiate with Dortmund. You don't get to a position where the deal is basically done and try and renegotiate. You pay the bloody money, you get the deal done, and you move on. There's no risk around Jadon Sancho. He's one of the straightforwardest, talented players there is. You get the deal done. And I'm still confident we will, because I don't think Manchester United can walk away with this. It would be the third time Dortmund have handed a beating to United. Erling Haaland, we thought we were going to get him. They got him. Jude Bellingham, we thought we were going to get him. They got him. Jadon Sancho, we thought we were going to get him. They keep him. United can't take 3 beatings from Dortmund in 6 months. They've got to deliver on this. They've got to deliver on it, because the fallout from it will be huge if it doesn't happen, which is why I'm totally convinced it will. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the video, and we will be live again in a couple of hours for a Europa League quarter-final, and definitely there will be more Jadon Sancho talk. Speak to you in a bit. I'll open up the live comments for that now, so you can continue the chat before we're live. Try and stay relaxed. Speak to you soon.